Hi, researchers. You are becoming quite the experts at learning how to research and become an expert on a new topic, aren't you? We've already done a lot of work of getting ourselves ready, kind of determining different subtopics about our topic and reading about or studying about one of those subtopics. You guys have also done a nice job of not just reading one book on your topic, but multiple books, and then starting to synthesize or combine information across the texts. You've obviously been taking lots of time to take some notes and then hopefully talk with your teammates as well about what you're noticing, what you're learning, what you're wondering. And as you're doing that, you're sounding like experts because you're using that really special vocabulary that relates directly to your topic or your animal. Yesterday, I taught you that it's important that as researchers, you start to think your own ideas. And today, I want to teach you that it's also important that you don't just think your own ideas, but that you also start to ask your own questions. So, today I want to teach you that researchers ask big questions as they are researching a topic. And we can do that by rereading our notes and asking things like, why, or even why not? And then, because we're already becoming experts and learning a lot on this topic, we can start to think of some possible answers to our questions by thinking maybe it's because, or even could it be? So today I'm going to show you some examples of that work, and I'm going to actually walk you through it as I start to ask these big questions and wonder things like why or why not, and then start to form some answers by thinking like maybe it's because or could it be. So I've got some examples here of some past students that were researching animals, and one particular student was researching frogs. But one thing that he knew was that octopus have 8 arms, and so he started wondering, like, why don't frogs have 8 arms? Like, why are octopus the only animal has that? So then he started thinking to himself, well, like maybe it's because frogs only need 4 arms in order to jump far, right? You don't need 8 arms in order to jump far. And one survival tactic of frogs is that they're jumping, and they just need 4 arms to be able to do that. He also was thinking maybe it's because they need 4 arms in order to be able to swim, or maybe it's because frogs need 4 arms to walk on land. So notice how this student came up with a wondering question: why don't frogs have 8 arms? And then started to think of some possible answers based on what he already knew to be true about frogs. Let's take a look at another one. The students actually studying penguins, like all of us are, and they had learned that emperor penguins, which is a particular kind of penguin, they only lay one egg. They were wondering why. Why do emperor penguins only lay one egg? And one idea that this student started to have was maybe it's because if they had more than one egg, the egg wouldn't fit there. Remember how we learned that like the dads a lot of times have that egg there and they are kind of holding it between their 2 feet. So I'm thinking maybe it's because if they had more than one egg, it wouldn't fit there. They wouldn't be able to care for it and protect it. Imagine if the egg fell off, it's ice everywhere, right? That egg is going to crack much too early. So maybe it's because it's not actually safe for emperor penguins to have more than one egg. Let's try one of these out together. Do you remember when we were reading in our book all about the chicks, and we read this section with the heading "In the Brood"? One of the things that we learned was that by May, chicks that are well nourished weigh about 26 pounds. But by September, those chicks that have survived weigh only around 3 pounds. And that got me wondering why? Like, why? If this mom and dad penguin or the male and female penguin, we know that they care a lot about their young, and yet they allow them to drop down to only 13 pounds. I started wondering why. Why would they allow that to happen? Okay, so now I need to kind of think based on what I know about penguins, why might this happen? Could it be that, oh, well, could it be that they're actually preparing them for the difficult life that's ahead of them, right? We know that penguins have to be really persistent, really resilient. They're going to go through some major struggles and obstacles in their life, like crossing that treacherous land. So maybe they're starting at a young age to like develop strong survival skills by having them lose all of that weight. So could it be that maybe they're preparing them for some of the struggles that they're going to have later in life, like being really hungry or losing lots of weight? Yeah, I think that could actually be one possible reason why. I'm also looking though at this picture. Do you see all of those chicks huddle together? Remember, we learned that that's called a creche, that they huddle all together for protection. Maybe they have them drop down into such a low weight, like go from 26 pounds all the way down to 13, because it basically forces the chicks to huddle together in order to start to survive together. And we know that all throughout their lives, penguins are an animal that really like live together in order to survive. They have to stay together for protection and in order to be able to survive. So maybe they have them drop down to that low weight because it forces them to all huddle and form together just to try and stay warm. That's what I'm starting to think. So notice, readers, how I first developed a question, right? I was wondering, like, why or why not? Then, based on what I know about a topic, I started to form some possible answers like, well, could it be for this reason? Or maybe it's because of this. So today, you're going to have an opportunity to do this same work. You might go back to some of your texts. You might even go back to some of the notes that you have taken in your reader's notebook and start to form some questions. Why is this? Why not this? And then start to develop some possible answers. One really good way to do this is by using those sentence starters like maybe it's because, or could it be that? Then during share time, you'll be able to share out at least one of your questions and one of your possible answers. Off you go, readers.